Welcome to the Running Biomechanics workshop. Whether you just started running or you're an avid runner, this is going to be quite useful for you. My name's Emily, I'm a triathlon coach. My specialty is biomechanics. So today we're going to go through some of the muscles you're going to use and just 2 simple ways to make your running better and to avoid injuries. Before we start, we're just going to give you a broad picture of what actually happens as you run. I've got this water bottle here. It's 550 ml. There's some water in it, which makes it roughly about just over half a kilo. Half a kilo, you'd think it's not very heavy. However, if I was just gonna use 2 fingers to lift this water bottle and nothing else, it's very heavy. If I'm just using my wrists to lift it, it's less heavy, but it's still quite a lot of work. However, if I'm doing bicep curl with half a kilo, it's nothing at all. Now, let's imagine I'm doing a full squat to lift this water bottle up. It's nothing. It's very, very little. Something that was heavy, now it becomes not heavy at all. So we're going to picture running in the same idea. We've got this amount of work to do, i.e. going forward. If we only use a few small muscles, it becomes really hard work. If we can engage larger group of muscles, more muscles, suddenly it becomes easier for you. Now, let's talk about the muscles that you need in running. Hip flexor, glute, quad, calves, hamstring, and then back up again. Now, this is assuming that we're using everything. Let's look at the scenario when we eliminate some of these muscles. So let's do this all together. Now we're going to eliminate the hip flexor and the glutes. We're just going to not bend the knee, and we're just using the calves and the anterior tibialis or your shin to walk. So let's keep the knees together. We're just moving your ankles to walk around. Very soon your calves and your shin becomes really tired. So if you're the kind of runner who get tight shin, or when it gets so bad it becomes shin splints, or that you get Achilles problems, calf problem, it's something you want to look into if you're overusing those muscles by not lifting your knees at all. So scenario 2, now we're just going to do heel up, down movement. Sometimes you see runner who don't really have a knee lift and they're just lifting their heel and then bringing it down like this. Very soon your quads and your hamstrings going to get very tired, and quite typically because your quads goes from your hip over your kneecap and then into the patella tendon, you will find quite often this becomes knee pain in the long term. If we don't have enough muscles to keep your stance hip width apart, it becomes narrower and narrower, and then eventually it becomes what we call a catwalk. So your leg cross over the front. Sometimes you would kick yourself and then your ankle would catch your own leg. Sometimes you'll find inside of your shoe, round about here, you get some rubbing marks, and then maybe a chunk comes off. That is if we haven't got enough strength on your glutes to keep that stance wide. The other scenario with not having enough strength to keep your stance wide enough to stop yourself from catwalking is that your foot is gonna come into an underpronate or supination movement. So if we're crossing the leg, you're going to land on the outer edge of your foot, and then what then happens is that it's going to make rolling your ankle over quite easy. But then if the problem was from your hip and your stance and not having enough strength to keep that stance wide enough, no shoes is really going to help you correct that. If your foot wants to roll out because of what you're doing from the hip and the knee, and then we're artificially inserting something to stop it from rolling out, The problem is that everything else will start to compensate, and you will find your knee will have to go at a slightly different angle to compensate it. So before you go into shoe insole, getting different kind of shoes, the first thing we need to do is to make sure that you're running correctly. Another scenario is that if we haven't got enough core strength or glutes and hip strength, we're going to come into this position. We're slightly bent and the knees are coming in together, and then what's going to happen is that there's going to be pronation. But that is not because of your foot, but it's because of what you're doing higher above. And then the arch starts to collapse, and then your knees comes in together. So if that's you, what you want to think about is working on your core, working on your glutes and your hips, and make sure that you've got enough strength to support you before we're trying to correct it with artificial help. Traditionally, the running gait is split into 6 steps, and personally I find it quite hard to learn and quite hard to digest. So I've condensed them into 2 simple steps, which is easier to understand and easier to follow. It goes like this. First thing you do, knee up. The next thing you do, you scoot. So picture yourself, you're using a pedal scooter, you're lifting your knee up without the kicking out. There's no kicking out. You let the lower half of the leg dangle down, drop it down so it lands straight underneath you, and you're like an angry bull. You're trying to push the floor away and you scoot forward. So 2 things, knee up, scoot. That is all. It's so simple that anyone can do it.